like, orchestrates trade. Oh my god, I'm old. I'm worrying about trade. Hello, welcome to Saturday Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Stringers by Chris Panatier. I think that's how you say his name. And this is a book coming out in April 2022. I think it's actually coming out in a couple days. It's a sci-fi comedy from my favorite publisher, Angry Robot. So I received this book as an ARC from Nat Galley in exchange for a fair review. So thank you to Angry Robot for the e-ARC. And then for sending me a physical copy so I could be part of the tour. I'm so excited. It's a beautiful cover. Look at it. It's so cool. It's like one of the coolest covers I've ever seen. Anyway, before we get started, I have a question for all of you viewers. What is your favorite type of pickle? I'm not making a joke here. I'm serious. What's your favorite type of pickle? Is it dill pickles? Is it dill pickles with garlic? Is it like baby gherkins or whatever? Those are my favorite. I love those little gherkins. When we used to go to my grandma's house, like for lunch or dinner or whatever, she would always have them on the table in like a little tiny glass bowl. But yeah, they're I guess they give me a nostalgia as well as I like the taste better. But yeah. What am I talking about? Stringers. Stringers is an exciting, fast-paced sci-fi with comedic elements. It's quite different from Panatier's first book, The Phlebotomist, which I think I reviewed on this channel. It may have been before my foray into YouTube, actually, and if not, the review is probably so old that it's very stilted and very newbie, so I don't recommend you look for it. Anyway, what is Stringers about? It is about knitting and string theory and licorice. No, I'm kidding. I'll tell you what it's about. So, knowledge can get you killed, especially if you have no idea what it means. Ben is not a genius, but he can spout facts about animals and wrist watches with the best of experts. He just can't explain how he knows any of it. He also knows about the chime. What it is or why it's important he couldn't say, but this knowledge is about to get him in a whole heap of trouble. After he and his friend Patton are abducted by a trash-talking flesh construct alien bounty hunter, Ben finds out just how much he is worth and how dangerous he can be. Hopefully Patton and a stubborn jar of pickles, see the pickles, will be enough to help get him through. Because being able to describe the mating habits of Brazilian bark lice isn't going to save them. Or is it? So a lot of time humor in books can be cringy. I applaud anyone who tries because chances are half the people or more won't find it funny. This book, though, entirely worked for me. It's not a comedy with sci-fi elements, but a sci-fi with more jokes than usual. It's not a satire or a parody, but it's a great balance between silly and serious. It's compared to Hitchhiker's Guide, and while there are similar elements, an unwitting human man is taken into space by aliens, the tone is quite different. The goals of the characters change over the course of the novel, but it maintains its tension and tone. The novel touches on serious subjects, but never too much that we forget it's more in the romp category than space opera, but it's not too much of a romp that it loses its narrative purpose. It's a book about friendship as well as survival. In that vein, it reminds me of Shaun of the Dead, which is, in my mind, the best zombie movie, up there with 2004's Dawn of the Dead, and I guess Zombieland as well. So I guess those three are my top three favorite zombie movies. Anyway, it's also because the two main characters I picture to be like Sean and Ed a bit, if you know that movie. The humor is a mix of absurdity and wordplay. We have moments like when a person, while being abducted, eats an entire baggie of mushrooms, shroom mushrooms, not just like, shiitake. A running joke about a jar of pickles, the pickles again. And then these weird footnotes that I'll admit I'm not sure what they were for, but I found them very enjoyable. Most of these footnotes were facts about bug reproduction, which I found A, funny, and B, reminded me of that YouTube channel, True Facts About Creatures. I don't actually know what it's called, but I'll post a link below. It's pretty funny. I'm also a sucker for footnotes. Footnotes, convergent evolution, which this book also mentions, and, as you know, problematic ships. No, not that kind. This kind. Okay, also the previous kind, too. I love boats, but not cruise ships, or, as I call them, the epitome of human hubris in the face of the environment. But let's dock ships for later. The characters are what made the story for me. While Ben and Patton are the main characters with their own compelling plot line, the friendship one, the side plot, which is given almost as much focus as the main plot, with Naisha, was my favorite aspect of the story. I love that she was A, an alien, because I love aliens, B, take charge, but also just like a normal person, and C, not a love interest prize for the main character, and D, had spiracles, which are the pores or gills on the side of an animal, an insect, or a reptile usually. It serves to bring the animal oxygen rather than lungs. Why do I like spiracles so much? Because I did a bunch of research on them for my own book. So I saw spiracles and I'm like, yay! what that is. It could also be that I loved her storyline because it was the one featuring Aptat, the bad guy. If you want a villain who wavers between chaotic neutral and chaotic evil, but is somehow also very, very funny, this is the book for you. I loved Aptat. I loved their sad backstory. I loved their deranged take on life. And I shipped them and Naisha so hard. Yes, this is the problematic ship I was talking about. I will not say whether this ship made it to port. Oh my god, I am really funny today. Jeez, if you like boat puns. I also liked Isarius, I think her name is, the lesbian hacker swearing nun. She was in the story just enough to be funny, but enough that she didn't become over the top. She was awesome. I really thought she was a fun side character. When it came to the story, it's a space opera through and through, complete with new planets and save the universe goals. But one thing I would have liked to see more would have been explanation into how the rest of the universe functioned. I couldn't entirely picture the universe that the characters lived in. I mean, granted, most of the time is spent in spaceships, which might be why. But I could have handled a few info dumps here and there from Naisha or the other aliens imparting information about other worlds. Or like some kind of a ruling force. Like, is there like a galactic council or something that maintains the planets? Or like, you know, orchestrates trade? Oh my god, I'm old. I'm worrying about trade. Actually, I guess I don't need any of that. Too bad. I don't want to be old. Anyway, it just felt like there was one city they go to that is like the only city. Though clearly it's not the only city. I just couldn't picture any of the other cities that existed on other planets. But aside from that very, very small minor detail, I really enjoyed the novel. If I gave it stars, I'd give it 5 freaking stars. I even liked the in cyberspace scenes, which is a trope I'm generally not fond of, so that's saying something. Of course, humor is subjective, but if you think my channel, with its absurdity and my dumbass comments, is funny, and if you think the Simon Pegg Nick Frost movies are funny, then you'll likely enjoy this. I will say, though, that my favorite Nick Frost Simon Pegg movie is not Shaun of the Dead, but Hot Fuzz. Oh my god, that movie is so funny. Anyway, thanks for watching, and thank you again to Angry Robot for the physical copy. I love it. Now I'm gonna go eat some baby gherkins. All of them. The whole jar. And then throw up. Thanks.